Welcome. I'm Diana Waring, and I'm glad you're here. When you think of homeschooling, at least what homeschooling should be, do you envision children happily reading and listening to their mom and asking questions and steadily learning everything in the curriculum? Ah, what a lovely dream. But the actual reality of homeschool isn't quite like that most days, right? We can get so frustrated by our kids because they're just not learning as quickly as they could. And it's not that hard anyway. And why don't they pay attention? Sound familiar? Well, I have a tip to share with you today. One that comes from brain researchers, the folks that study how brains actually work. And it's going to sound pretty radical, but it'll make a big difference in your kids' ability to pay attention and learn. And it's free, which is always a good thing. Ready? You need to take breaks. Now, I know you know that. Every student has breaks between classes, and there's lunch, and maybe even recess, and that's good. But what brain researchers have discovered is that there's actually a predictor of how often you need to take a break when you're doing intensive brain work, like learning how to read or do calculus, and it's dependent on your age. Here's the formula. Take the age of the student and add 2. If you have an 8-year-old and you add 2, that means that every 10 minutes they need to take a quick break, a brain break. If you have a 14-year-old and you add 2, that means that every 16 minutes they need to take a quick brain break. 18 and older, you take brain breaks every 20 minutes when you're doing intensive brain work. So, did your jaw drop open? Are you looking at your 6-year-old and thinking, every 8 minutes we're supposed to stop and take a break? Before you stop watching, let me show you a brain break. This is what I call windshield wipers. You can do this for 10 seconds, then stretch your hands to the sky for another 5 seconds, smile at each other, and then get back to talking about subtraction or whatever was being studied at the moment your 8-minute timer rang. Brain breaks provide the brain an opportunity to refresh, refocus, wake up. And when you take brain breaks, your kids are going to be better able to do that intensive work of learning. Okay, if you're going to actually give this a try and see if it works, let me give you a few pointers. First, when I talk to audiences about brain breaks, people often ask, how do you corral your kids again once they take a break? And that's a great question. One answer is to have 2 or 3 short brain breaks, like the 10-second windshield wiper, and then take a longer break, maybe 5 to 10 minutes, where kids can get a drink of water, eat a bite of food, run around the house once, whatever is needed. And then do something fun to get them back into the learning groove, like singing Yankee Doodle and marching in time, or reading aloud the next chapter in Hank the Cowdog, or playing a quick game of Simon Says. Second, use several different kinds of brain breaks for your kids because that will keep them interested, which is good for their brains. And keep in mind, whenever possible, do things that cross the median of your body, crossing from right to left or left to right. So reach across and pat yourself on the back. Or do windshield wipers, or make an elephant's trunk. That's a great one, right, for making people laugh. Or stand up and do the hokey pokey. Another great type of brain break can be stretching, like calisthenics, or standing up and sitting down as fast as you can 3 times in a row. Again, that's one that makes you laugh. And laughter refreshes the brain and lightens the day, and that's always good. When you make the time to take brain breaks, your kids will be refreshed and ready to dive back into learning. And you're going to find that it's much easier to do school when your kids are refreshed and ready. So set your timers and take your brain breaks. See you next time.